Hey, it's George the Antique Nomad, and the reflection in the window behind me is downtown St. Petersburg, Florida. But before I left, I wanted to open my mail and get caught up, and I did a little viewer mail live on my Antique Nomad Live channel. I just thought it would be fun to show people what I got. It was just spontaneous, take it out of the box, let's see what there is, and talk about it a little. And it all went really great, except that I didn't realize how careful you have to be to make sure that people's addresses don't show, so I couldn't leave it up there. So I'm releasing it here as a little bonus video. Let's take a look and see what came in the mail. Hi, I'm George the Antique Nomad. Come with me as I wander the country in search of valuable vintage, amazing antiques, and cool collectibles. We'll buy, sell, and trade at antique malls, shops, and shows, estate sales, flea markets, thrift stores, anywhere people go to find really interesting things that just aren't made anymore. So come on, let's go! I have been here slaving away because I have to go to Florida this weekend. I'll be doing an estate sale next weekend in St. Petersburg, and so I've got to go get that prepared. But I'm trying to get caught up here before I go. I unpacked from the show. I have been packing things that viewers have requested that they've seen in videos, and I am now ready to unpack some things that some lovely viewers sent to me.
Nope.
Nope.
Not like her.
Not like her, no. This stuff behind me here is actually another project I'm getting ready to film this month's listing where I put 20 items on eBay, and that's something that video goes early access to level 2 members on the main channel. So if you're interested in seeing more of that stuff, you'll be able to see that very soon. And if you're a level 2 member, you'll see it first. So we've got 20 interesting items back there that I'm working on for that. But in the meantime, I wanted to catch up with some viewer mail because some people have, well, I've seen a lot of viewers lately. I did the show in Portland and a lot of viewers came. I did the show in Springfield and a lot of YouTubers came as well as viewers, and that was really fun. I got to see a bunch of viewers in Spokane, Washington 2 weekends ago, and then in Burlington, Kentucky last weekend. In Burlington, this wasn't really viewer mail, but this was a very nice viewer came and brought this to me. And I thought it was cool. It is treasure craft. This is from the 1970s, you can tell by the avocado glaze, but this was also when they were doing nameplate stuff for various attractions, and this one is SeaWorld. Now SeaWorld is controversial today. You can see the treasure craft mark on the back there. If this was Disney, it would say Walt Disney Productions because they didn't allow anyone to put their mark on. It had to be Disney, but this is SeaWorld. At the time, they were in California, Ohio, and Florida. I don't know if they're still in Ohio.
Seal and penguins, dolphins.
Yes. They'd always do a bunch of...
Pearl diver, aquarium.
And Shamu the killer whale. Yes, Shamu was a very popular attraction at SeaWorld when I was a kid. They must have had a few Shamus because it actually traces to a childhood memory. I mean, now we think differently about aquariums, but when I was a kid, we were just so fascinated to be able to go and see these creatures and be able to put our hands in the tanks and touch sea anemone and sea urchins and all that crazy stuff. So this is a nice little memory for me, and I was very grateful to get it. And we'll probably hang on to that for my collection. I wanted to do this live in part because of this lovely lady. Whoops, let me cover up that address. Anyway.
We are not a pro.
We're learning, yes. But anyway, she is in, I think it's okay to show her name. She's done a few videos on YouTube as well, and she goes by Oodalolly Shop.
The address.
I'm trying to open the box, and then we won't show the address again.
This is really improvised, apparently.
It is a little bit improvised, yes.
I thought we had the box open.
No, we didn't, but that's okay. We could do something about that.
There we go.
There we go. So, we're going to open the box.
The hand of God comes into
She sent me this really neat box full of something, and so let's see what it is. She's really an interesting young woman. Not only does she do YouTube, but she's really into martial arts, and she has been trying to get me to virtually join with them, and it would be a good idea. I could really use it. She does Tai Chi and stuff, and she sent a whole thing about it. So I will definitely look into that if I ever get the time to sit down. And it looks like she sent a nice little letter, which I'll try to hop in and chat when I can. Oh, okay, it's about what's in here. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll read the letter on my own time, but let's see what she sent, 'cause that's the fun part of all this.
Yeah, to cover that up.
Let me just get rid of it. There, no more address. She said she found something that related to something I had talked about on one of my videos. So let's see what that is. Oh, wow. Oh, looky there. It is another piece of treasure craft, and this is a really great one. I'll take it out of the bag here so that you can see it. It looks like it came in great shape. I love this shape fish tray. It's one of my favorites, and she put in, I love Wisconsin, little souvenir pin, because she is up in the general vicinity of the Great Lakes, and this is from Wisconsin Dells, and now I know why she said that she thought I would like this, because not only is it the fish that I love, but Wisconsin Dells, and I did mention this in a video, it's a really beautiful area where the river cuts through a bunch of bluffs, and it is where my grandparents went on their honeymoon, because my grandmother was in Wisconsin going to college then. So it's a really cool piece. Marked Treasure Craft on the back. I love it. Thank you very much. That's a really great thing. And let's see what the other piece is here. Alrighty.
Yeah, that would make lots of noise if you...
Yeah, noise is part of the...
ASMR.
Yes, noise is part of the live... Oh, she had told me her family actually have honeybees. And this is a jar of honey. Oh,
Okay.
and that'll be wonderful.
Keep it lower and watch.
Farm fresh and everything. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you. And it's great because it's from the part of the country I'm in now. And they say, of course, you should eat honey from the part of the country you're in because it helps with getting rid of allergies to things in the part of the country you're in. So since I travel a lot, that will be very useful. And thank you. That is a wonderful bunch of gifts. And I'll read your letter, but I won't read it out loud.
Okay, are we going to show addresses again?
We're not going to show addresses this time. I have it backwards, so we're not going to do that. This fellow is a guy in New York. He used to do a fanzine back in the day when zines were a big thing. And he would take all sorts of old graphics and things and make a fanzine out of them. I actually have a copy of it here. You can see the, it was called Snack Bar Confidential. And he had all this cool ephemera, old movie stuff and things, pop culture stuff that he would use to make this. And so I think he has a huge collection because he periodically sends me paper ephemera, and it's usually pretty interesting. So let's see what's in here. Oh, I think there's a little more. And I love paper ephemera because it could be anything. It can be collectible in any way. Oh, you know, one time he sent something that was just slightly off color, so I'll have to sort of look at this stuff before I show it to you, I guess.
Oh, Oodalali is in here.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Those were wonderful gifts, and I hope you got to see the part where I opened it, but they're fantastic. I love them. Okay, so out of this bunch, the first thing we have is Uncle Bill's Hotel Special Coffee from Lewiston, Idaho. I notice he's been trying to send me stuff that is areas where I sell, which is really nice, because I guess he figures I'll have collectors there, and that's true. And this one says that they've been specializing for over 27 years since 1921, so this is going to be from the 1940s. And it has a whole bunch of helpful suggestions for good coffee making, like wash the urns daily and make sure the water is absolutely boiling. I think Starbucks has those recommendations, don't they?
Boiling? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't actually drink coffee. Next, we've got the Ponderosa Ranch story from Bonanza. And of course, Bonanza was a hugely popular Western show back on television. And this would have been from the early 70s, which is about the time the show went off the air. But it still is a tourist attraction to this day if you're in the...
Is that second guy missing a tooth, or is that just a gap?
No, I think it's a gap.
Okay.
I think it's a gap, yeah.
Come to the Ponderosa Ranch, you'll get a tooth knocked out.
This guy looks like Buck Owens, but I think he's supposed to be Michael Landon.
Really?
Yes. Always by Chesterfield. This must be the back of a program.
Okay.
And the program is for something called the Town Hall, which is in New York. And if we... Oh, you want to see more? Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get it all.
The graphics are fun on these. Here's the Town Hall. And apparently there was some sort of an event happening there in 1947 when this was done.
That person?
No, that's not who was performing.
Oh, okay,
no, this
gotcha.
is an advertisement.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
they would do, you know, this was, music halls would sell advertisements for other music like Columbia Records and
okay.
things in their programs because...
So the performer wouldn't have a photo?
They might. Let's see if they do. It depends. That is Jeanette MacDonald, who is not the performer. Let's see if there's any picture. They may not have, actually, because a lot of these were kind of, everything would be printed in the last minute they'd put in the performer's information. Well, unless she did it in her maiden form bra, I don't think so. So that is an interesting thing. This one, the colonization of America, woo, and the growth of the United States.
More fun things.
Yes.
Surprises to be had.
More things falling out the bottom. So this is from the 1976 because it's got the American bicentennial logo up there.
Nope.
Right there.
Okay.
I saw it somewhere.
That's not what that is. That's the flag of the colonizers, I believe.
I believe that's true. Some of them, anyway. Now, these are matchbooks, and again, they're relevant to places that I sell. So this one is a very little town called Medellin Falls, Washington.
Okay,
way up by the Canadian border.
Oh, yeah. Home-cooked food in Medellin.
Oh, and then this one. It's too bad I didn't have this to take to Spokane. The Chop Suey restaurant on Sprague Street in Spokane. Sprague Street is a really rough part of town now, but it one time was the main drag, so...
So that's another matchbook cover.
That's another matchbook cover, yes.
Okay.
Let's see what else here. Hawaii, 1970 to 71. I'm sure it's changed quite a bit. Mm-hmm. There's probably some fun...
Does it open in the back is more of that front photo?
No, just a little bit, yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so this is AAA. It's mainly just lists of things, not a lot of great graphics other than the cover, but the cover is cool. Sports Car Club of America patches from the New York region, and
clothing patches or
no, these are decals. You would actually put them on your car, usually in the window, to signify that you were part of the organization. The America's Cup Official Handbook, 1977. It's called the America's Cup because we have won this yachting race so many times that it just became known as America's Cup until the 80s when the Australians won it and took it away for the first time in 130 years. But it is still called the America's Cup, and this old program is sponsored, not surprisingly, by Rolex, because you had to have money to have a sailboat back in the 1970s, especially an America's Cup sailboat.
Oh, yeah.
So this is pretty cool. Okay, the next thing we have, this is a catalog for American vitrified china. Let's see, what is American vitrified china? Basically, vitrification is where you cover the thing in a glaze so that it doesn't get stains and permanent marks and things. Oh, okay, so there's a whole bunch of companies, good old-time American companies that are mostly no longer around anymore, who were part of this China Association. I like these old things because they show patterns sometimes of things that were considered special or that you don't really see very much, and so it is a good way to learn more about it. Plus, this has a very thorough explanation of how to distinguish China from non-China. It'll ring like a bell. It has bone in it. Here's various companies and their back stamps, all the different companies that made this sort of thing in America at that time. In '46, the war was over, and they knew that the Germans and the Japanese were going to start producing again. So they really wanted to set themselves up as being the standard. It didn't really work. The other countries did take over the industry after that. Oh, interesting, and there's a little tag on this. Enjoy, and I will, because this is, it says, never saw so many rare ones. And it's miniature oil lamps. This is an old, early collector's reference from about 1970. And look at the owl, isn't that cool? And that is actually Victorian. All of the ones in this are going to be the old school ones that you really don't see too much anymore. You see a lot that were made in the 60s and 70s to look like it, and it's because they became very collectible. And yeah, this says it's copyright in 1968. It's laminated a little bit.
Missing something, what would that be?
That's a good question.
Photo.
Probably a tipped-in photo with something. It's got the descriptions of the plates. I'm not sure what that would have been.
interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of well, there's a lot of patterns like Cosmos. This is one you do see on the market now from time to time.
You could take the glare off, I think.
Flatter up. Okay. And so, yeah, this is really cool. Now, this is back in the Victorian days, you either had fairy lamps or you had these. These took oil. And if you didn't have oil or it was easier for you to make candles, then you had fairy lamps. But these are the ones that you really want because these old Victorian ones can be 150 to 200 a piece depending on the pattern. There's lots that are less than that, but there's plenty that are good money. So this is going to be useful. And it looks like there's pages and pages, so I won't go through all of it, but this will be a good reference. And I love old references because you really get an idea of what might be out there in the collector world that you haven't necessarily seen. Yes, the cameraman the cameraman's trying to direct, and I can't really, it's hard to film and do that, so. Yeah, they're right, exactly. But we're doing our best.
Good variety.
Yeah. So they're cool. It's a great book. I'm looking forward to seeing that, and then we'll see if we can find any out there in the wild. Okay, this one is Superior Gift Line. This is going to be a calendar. This will be advertising to get companies to buy calendars and print on them. So we're going to open it up, and you'll probably see a January all printed out, which we do. And then the ones after this, if it's like the other ones I've seen, there probably won't be anything on there because it's just to show samples. Yep, sure enough, it's blank down there. When I was with the group in Springfield and they were all having fun at the Ephemera table, a lot of this sort of thing was what was in there, a lot of calendar samples. Although the ones that those folks got were a little older. I know Jeffrey at Real Nifty Vintage got a bunch of really cool ones that were specifically for calendars. There's the fisherman, there's a kid with a dog. Let's see what else there is. I want to find one that I personally really like. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I like that one. Very fun, very sort of over the top.
Who is that?
I think she's just a model. It says Western Champs. Maybe that's Mr. Ed and Mrs. Ed, I'm not sure. Anyway, these are fun. I always get a kick out of these, and that is a neat thing. And then the very last one, also a calendar page, it looks like. Oh, Lassie. Lassie thrives on Red Heart 3-flavor dog, 3 flavors. Wow, I've never seen a dog pause long enough to absorb 3 flavors in dog food. Yeah, they basically swallow it whole. So, yes, well, Lassie did thrive on this stuff, I guess, at least for a little while. Lassie was very smart. The collies that have been in my family's world, not so smart. But I'm sure that you had to have lots of 3-flavor dog food so that you could go rescue Timmy from a well. So this is going to be from the 60s, and the fact that it's Lassie makes it pretty collectible, and actually all of this stuff is really cool. Thank all of you for watching. It just was fun to take a moment. I thought, you know what, I'm going to open this stuff anyway. It'd be really fun to see together what's in here. And what a great little group of things, a couple of things I'm going to keep for my collection, and some of that ephemera stuff you'll probably see at a show or maybe for sale at, I have a new eBay store, which I've got to fill. So we'll be working on that too. And a lot of other things. Well, we're going to fill it with something eventually. Well, it does have a lot of stuff in it, mainly books and sports cards, but eventually we will have a bunch of other things there too. So anyway, thank you for joining. My next event will be next weekend. I'll be doing an estate sale in St. Petersburg. On November 14th, I'll be doing an appraisal fair in Havana, Florida, near Tallahassee. And I believe the weekend before, I think it's the 6th, if I remember right, I'll be doing an appraisal fair in Harlan, Kentucky. And then, let's see, Mount Dora Antique Show in Florida will start the Florida season right before Thanksgiving, the weekend before. So if you're in any of those places, come see me. Otherwise, I'll hope to see you here live and on my main channel. And it's really great to have all of you here. And I'm really grateful to my viewers for being so generous with me. Thank you so much for sending me little gifts. It's just always a lot of fun. And I'll see all of you down the road soon here. Take care. Thanks for joining me again in the fun and fascinating antique community here where online meets the real world. Please click the subscribe button below, click the bell to be notified when new videos upload, leave a comment below, and hit thumbs up to like this video.
Links to our online social media daily posts and our items for sale are in the description. This is George at the Antique Nomad. Bye for now.